I shall have to speak while standing. As you know, today is the Teachers' Day. Last year also I had this opportunity of having interaction with you. And this year also, I thought that I should take this opportunity of having interaction with you. Here the subject is, it's a course of your political science, that politics in India since independence. Now what is politics? What is the dictionary meaning of politics? From Oxford Dictionary I found the art and science of government. A particular set of ideas, another definition, particular set of ideas, principles and commitments in politics. So what has been the major events after the country became independent on 15th August 1947? 3 years were engaged in drafting our constitution. We began the process of drafting the constitution little before independence in November 1946, the first meeting of the Constituent Assembly. And after 3 years, in November 1949, the constitution was finalized. And some provisions of the constitution were immediately operational, but rest of the things were operationalized from 26 January 1950, as this was an emotive day to the Indian people, because from 1930 to 1947, 26th January was observed as the day of independence. On that day, people used to take their pledge. So first important major task was done, drafting the constitution within 3 years of our independence. And this is significant that since the Britishers captured our country, for the first time Indians made their laws for themselves. I am not going to discuss in details of the constitution, but this is one major act. Then thereafter we introduced the parliamentary democracy. First general election was held in 1952 on the basis of adult suffrage. At that point of time, the voting age was 21. Any citizen of India who has attained the age of 21, who is not a lunatic, who is not undischarged, insolvent, any citizen could have the voting right, and his voting value would be equal to that of the highest office holder in the country. Adult suffrage. At that point of time, India had 350 million people, and about half of it was the electors. Last election there were 800 million voters. Because it is quite natural, our population is 1.28 billion, 128 crores. And sometimes I wonder that how it is possible. You just shut your eyes and in your mind you reflect the landscape of India from snow-capped Himalaya to wave-cradled Cape Comorin, north to south, or from east to west, that this vast land, 33 lakh square kilometers in area. I am not taking into exclusive economic zones on the high sea, land area. 128 crores people, and having every day use 122 languages, every day. Some part of the country that language is being used. 1600 dialects. Normally we divide the people anthropologically into three groups: Caucasians, Dravidians, and Mongolite. China, Japan, Far East, mainly inhabited by Mongolites. Entire African continent, Dravidians. Whole of Europe and Central Asian countries, West Asia, Caucasians. But in India, you find all three major groups, three ethnic groups: Caucasians, Dravidians, Mongolite, living in large number. Entire Northeast, all these states. All major religions, 7 religions in India practice. So this has been possible how? Because of our constitution, because of our democracy, because of our participation of the people of India, and who accepted this system that we live under one umbrella. Therefore, the first general election took place, and subsequently, at the regular interval of 5 years, normally 5 years, but sometimes more frequent elections have taken place. For instance, I will give you an example in India. 1952 to 1977, regular 5 years interval. 52, 57, 62, 67. Then there was a break. One parliament was short-lived by 1 year. So instead of 72, it was 71. Then after 6 years, 77 again. In one term, parliament's life was extended by 1 year. So the chain was rebuilt, 5 years chain. But then there was a break in 77. Parliament should have continued till 82, but it was dissolved earlier. Elections took place in 80. And once that chain was broken, then it was difficult to rebuild that chain. Next, elections took place after 5 years. But 89, the government which was elected, it collapsed in 91. Then 96, the government which was elected after 5 years, that collapsed in 98. So between 89 to 99, in 10 years, there should have been 3 elections. Instead of that, there were 5 elections. But thereafter, the again 5-year term has come back. So parliamentary democracy, a major development, periodical elections, elections by the people of their representatives who will run administration, who will govern them. So governance through people's consent, through parliamentary democracy. Now, third major, I am first talking of the political development, then I will come a little bit of economic development. At one point of time it was thought that there will be only one party, Indian National Congress, which was the main front platform for all freedom fighters. They considered it as not a party but as a platform where they assembled. But after independence, I will tell you how gradually the political parties started coming out. And here I will just have make a small break and tell you, today's ruling party is BJP, Bharatiya Janata Party. Before 47, you will not get the word of BJP. It was not there. BJP was established by Dr. Shamaprasad Mukherjee in 1951, when he had very serious difference with the then Prime Minister, Mr. Nehru. He was the industry minister of Mr. Nehru, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, but he did not agree with Nehru's views to enter into an agreement with Pakistan, which is known as Nehru-Liaquat Pact. Liaquat Ali was Prime Minister of Pakistan, Jawaharlal Nehru was Prime Minister of India, both of them signed an agreement. It is known as Nehru-Liaquat Pact. Shama Prasad thought that this is against the interests of India, so he resigned from the cabinet and formed a party. That party was known as Jansangh. That Jansangh emerged as a very important party later on, and from election to election its strength increased. And in 1977, all political parties, non-Congress political parties combined and took a common name, Janata Party. But Janata Party did not succeed for long. After 3 years it was broken, and then BJP came to exist. So BJP was Jansangh, Bharatiya Janata Party, then Bharatiya Janata Party. Today it is the ruling party. So the formation of the political parties in post-independence period is also an important political development. Various groups went out of Congress. Some of them, like Jayaprakash Narayan, Acharya Narendra Dev, they established socialist parties. Acharya Kripalani, who was a very prominent Congress leader, came out of Congress and formed a party which was known as Krishak Mazdoor Praja Party. Rajagopal Achari, who was the last Governor General and first Indian Governor General who occupied this building, he also formed a party. That party's name was Swatantra Party, mainly consisting of the princely rulers, etc. So various political parties have formed after independence. Communist movements was as old as from 1920s. Sometimes they worked within the platform of Congress, sometimes they worked outside. But major difference with Congress took place during the Quit India movement, because they were supporting the movement launched by Indian National Congress, forcing the British to quit India. That was the slogan Gandhi gave, Quit India, Bharat Chhado. Now, at that time, Second World War was going on. And combination of the Second World War was such, UK, France, America was one side, Allied forces, Germany, Italy, Japan, they were another camp, group, it was known as Axis forces. Soviet Russia under Stalin did not join the war first. They had some sort of arrangement with Hitler's Germany. Therefore, they were not participating in the war. But later on, when Hitler decided to attack Soviet Russia, then he joined the Allied forces, and Indian Communist Party interpreted that character of war has changed. How it has changed? Now Soviet Russia is attacked. Soviet Russia is the land of socialism. We all believe in that. Therefore, the character of war, which was earlier imperial war to protect the imperial interest, has now changed into people's war, and therefore we shall have to cooperate with the British government, who is also a party, part of alliance, to defend the people's war. So that was the departing point from the communists of the Congress. So in various ways the political parties developed. That is an important event. Third important political event took place. For the initial periods, both central government and state governments, when the election results used to come after 5 years, we used to see that the Congress party got majority. First departure was made in 1957. In 1957, a new state was formed, Kerala, consisting of two princely states, Travancore and Cochin. Travancore and Cochin, they combined into Kerala. Kerala general election took place for the first time in 57. Undivided Communist Party got the majority. And thereafter, in one state or another state, some political parties used to come to power. But center there were more or less uninterrupted Congress rule from 1952 to 1977. But in the states it did not take place. And major break was in 1967. In many states Congress were defeated. Kerala they were defeated. Tamil Nadu they were defeated. Bengal they were defeated. Bihar they were defeated. And two other states, Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh, there were coalition governments of non-Congress political parties. So the coalition experiment started first from the state. Later on it came to center. Center it came in 77. Then after that it continued till it was brought to an end after 2014 general election. Though there is a coalition government, but single party has a majority. There were four categories of states. Part A states, Part B states, Part C states, Part D states. Part A states were, which were the British administered provinces, like United Province and Oudh, what we call Uttar Pradesh today. Then it was known as United Province and Oudh. What we know as Madhya Pradesh today, it was then known as Central Province and Bihar. Bihar was known as Bihar. Odisha was known as Odisha. Bengal, Assam. At the time of partition, Bengal was divided between East Bengal and West Bengal. Punjab was divided between East Punjab and West Punjab. East Punjab went to Pakistan, West Punjab came to us. East Bengal went to Pakistan, West Bengal came to us. So when the constitution was operationalized on 26 January 1950, we had different type of states. What are Part B states? Part A states were British India provinces, total number of 9. 8 were Part B states. There was no state like Rajasthan. During the British days, geography was, there was a place called Rajputana. Rajputana consisted of only the princely states, Jaipur, Jodhpur, Udaipur, Kota, Budi, Bikaner, etc., etc., etc. Now the name was changed and a new state was created consisting of these princely states. It was known as Rajasthan. That was a Part B state. Hyderabad, it was a state under the Nizam, princely rulers. 552 princely states were there who merged with India. When India became independent, it was a very interesting situation. About 60% of Indian territories were administered by British Governor General through the help of the governors of the provinces or lieutenant governors. But 40% of the territory, around 40%, these were administered by 567 princely states. So the British government told them that, look, whatever agreements we had with you, to the rulers, that is no longer valid. We are quitting India. our advice to you would be, you join either Indian Union or Pakistan. But 552 states joined India. Some of them were merged immediately, but some of them were retaining their own identity. These major political developments took place over the years since independence, and still it is unfolding. Still many more developments will come. Fortunately, substantially we have maintained peace. Yes, there have been terrorist attacks. There has been cross-border terrorism. But substantially it is not a homegrown. The success of our policy, the success of our administrative acumen, that substantially we have been able to ensure that homegrown terrorism, which is a major international event today, and which may be considered as the biggest menace to the international peace and community, irrespective of border, religion, or location. But India is substantially free because we are attacked. We are attacked from outside. We are the victim of the cross-border terrorism, not so much of the homegrown terrorism. When we became independent, we have to keep in mind hardly we had any growth. 50 years from 1900 to 1950, Indian economy grew at the average rate of less than 1%. So it was the major task of the government of the day to rebuild the economy. We must have higher growth, and we began the process of planned economic development. Up to now there had been 12 5-year plans, and in between there has been some annual plans when we did not have the money. That economic development, higher GDP growth, employment generation, food production, basic industrial production, these are the important tasks. And what have I achieved? Our total grain production was just 50 million tons in 1951. And we have already achieved 265 million tons food grain. Less than 1 lakh ton steel productions we used to have at the time of independence. Total less than 1 lakh ton. And today we are having 612 million ton, 91 million ton steel production. Coal production, it has increased to 612 million ton. Fertilizer, hardly we produced any fertilizer. First independent India's fertilizer plant Sindri used to produce 30,000 tons. Today we are producing 126.8 lakh tons. My target when I was first a junior minister of industrial development was to produce 50 million tons of cement. Because it was a dream then, we produced 15 million tons. And today our cement production is 270 million tons. India has emerged as the third largest economy on purchasing power parity. And last point is that for quite some time we found that we are emphasizing on public sector, state investment, government playing the major role as industrial and economic activities, and the talent of the people remained dormant. So we decided to change the policy. We went for economic liberalization in a massive way in 1991. Some people say that it was a U-turn. I told them that it is not a U-turn. It is the natural process. And I used to give them an example that when you have a 3-year or 4-year child in your house, your parents will not allow that child to cross the highway on his or on her own. An escort will have to be provided when she is 3 years, 4 years or 5 years. But even after becoming 18 years old, if he or she is scared to cross the highway, then the parents do not provide him escort, take him to a psychiatrist that something is wrong with the boy or girl. Why at the age of 18 or 20, being adult, she is scared to cross the road. Therefore, what we found that what was necessary, when there was no base, when there was no enterprising skill, when there was no capital, when there was no technology, then only state can effectively intervene and create these things. We created those platforms, and on the basis of those platforms, now Indian economy is moving fast. And with this note of confidence, I will conclude that despite 8 years of international slowing down of economy, particularly the contribution of advanced economies are becoming negative or very marginally positive. Indian economy is emerging as the fastest growing economy among the large economies of the world. 2015, we registered 7.3% GDP growth, and I am sure, as per international prediction, 2016 and 2017 also will grow not less than 7.5%. Perhaps with little push, we can move further. Thank you. I am sorry if I have become ineligible to you. Am I? Yes, thank you. Have you enjoyed? Yes, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my dear boys and girls. I wish you all success in your future.